Support for Short Stops is presented by the Caylum Trading Institute. Check out our website at www.cayluminstitute.com. On today's episode,
so you can't imagine a woman going inside a boiler room or something
Correct.
"Hi guys, I want to learn how to trade," because it's a male-dominated society and people would be like,
Judging you, siguro.
"Bitch," right? It's something like that.
call it what you want: a game, an experiment, a gamble. But stock trading in the global financial markets to us is a business. Every day you're surrounded by the noise. Buy, sell, hold, buy more. And we're going to quiet it down and filter out the best trading strategies, tips, and stock picks. You want information on how to find your next bagger or home run? You'll find it right here on Short Stops.
Welcome to episode 14 of Short Stops, ladies and gentlemen. With me today is something very, very special because we've never had women guests here on this show before. So for the first time, we have here Miss Michelle Georgetown
Hello.
and Miss Sheena Lorenzo,
Hi.
both graduating students from UP Diliman, Business Administration, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. So ladies, in a man-dominated world full of traders, what do you think about female and student traders now coming about?
Well, one thing that's actually prominent that gave the rise of women and student traders is the medium today. Because I compare it to the 1990s or 1980s. I guess most people would have encountered stock trading if they went to specific financial buildings, right? So you can't imagine a woman going inside a boiler room or something saying, "Hi guys, I want to learn how to trade," because it's a male-dominated society and people would be like,
Judging you, siguro.
"Bitch," right? It's something like that. So for me personally, it was Facebook.
So you started at Facebook?
Yes, I started at Facebook. I think I gathered my society there on Facebook. It started in 2014 when I had an accounting class in UP and our professor was saying that you can actually trade a market even if you're not working, even if you don't have a license, through online platforms. And that was UL Financial. So actually fascinated by the thought that I could make money in my room just sitting down and just analyzing stocks, right? So I started looking for communities on Facebook because it was the most available medium.
What kind of communities, if I may ask?
Well, they're not exactly beneficial to you in the long run because you have posters in those communities who give recommendations that are not so good. So, okay, that was how my story started out.
So there's a lot of noise coming about.
Yes.
Maraming nag-hype ng stocks for sure.
Yes. So, as a newbie, I was listening to these people. I was so hungry for knowledge. And so I just listened to whatever they said. So I bought what they did, asked recommendations, and followed. But it turns out it didn't turn out well for me, right? So not everyone actually has that advocacy to help people.
Maybe the intention is different.
Well, maybe the intention is different, but the results were actually devastating. So, so for me, I said that we have a lot of resources open to us now since the rise of the online medium. So I started doing my own study, my own analysis, and I found more responsible means of learning for myself and being more lucrative in the market. And one way to do that was actually reach out to these institutions that are established and have more reputation to help people. So I tried looking for an internship. So as a student, I capitalized on me being a student to go for internships for free. So that's like learning for free. So in UP, we have this organization called UPJFA, and they said that they could bridge us for an internship so we could learn better in stocks. So that's what I did.
So did you also start the same way, Sheena? Coming from Facebook, coming to that medium?
Well, I think with college students, like everybody, it's already at the back of their heads, like, I need to invest, I need to do this sometime in my adult life, but they just lack this push. And that's how I appreciate companies these days. They really reach out to students. They spend time really going to the schools and then teaching them.
Totoo ba yan?
Totoo.
I mean, back then, wala naman nagtuturo niyan
Meron.
Diba? I mean, pag bata ka, hindi mo naman hinahanap ang
Totoo.
ang investing or trading.
I don't know if I'm just mukhang
Well,
pera.
in our community, it was prevalent,
Yeah,
right? Because we were part of UPJFA.
Okay.
And it was our
I
mission.
So it's not just the school in general plus the club, very active.
I think a lot of people are like that. There's one guy I met in DLSU. He's like, I really want to invest because I feel like I'm not a man yet if I don't invest. There's a lot of people like that. So I remember that it was like 2014, 4 years ago. It was Boss Edward I was like an applicant in UPJFA. And then he even gave me this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I still have that book now. And even after that, I got so intrigued because everybody was trading, even if it was mostly male. I thought, oh, why not give it a try? That's how I met George. Just
Back
like that.
then in our time, women traders were really
It was
like
just
unicorns.
2 of us.
Yeah,
in
only
our
2 of
batch.
us in our batch. And the entire college, maybe just 3, including CJ Aquino, the president of the
that time.
the
So
organization.
just a few people back then.
Just a few.
I mean, there's a study created by Social Science Research Center, and it said that women traders actually execute less orders than men. Okay, but that doesn't mean returns are worse. So what's your opinion on this and how accurate is this?
I can't speak for all women, but personally, I think this is true for me. Because, for example, I'm with other people and we have the same watch list. I'm more picky with a lot of things. I get paranoid when there's like one factor that I don't like. It doesn't make me that comfortable. So I execute, for example, in a list of 7, I execute like 2 to 3.
Okay. What about you, George?
That applies to me because thinking about the market environment, our index went from 9,000 to around 7,600 today, right? Year to date, we're at a negative return, but my portfolio is actually at a positive return, mainly because I attributed to less trades. What I do is that I gauge the environment. Some people would like to trade. I mean, most men. I don't want to generalize. most men trade
Don't
because
worry,
of the
we don't.
thrill, the testosterone, like they want action, right? But for women, I do think that's not the case. So it's fine for me to just, trade in less amounts because I'm not looking for thrill. I'm looking for return also.
So it's more systematic for your ends, I assume. So let's say you have a system, you stick to it.
Yes.
And then if it shows you that you need to do this, then you'll just do it that way.
Yes.
You're not having that big excitement for just being in the stock market.
No.
Okay.
To me, I try to be very rational about my portfolio.
Well, I think the excitement is still there. We're not just students. We're not just girls. We're also human. We all have
That's
the
why.
same-
That's why.
We all have the same emotions at the end of the day. But maybe, we're just more picky.
Right. Because I can actually compare this to our community. We have this small Facebook community filled with men and women, mostly men. The community is very active for the past few months, even if the market was down, because most of them are still trading these penny stocks or second liners, but with little success because, when you trade with a bad market environment, most trades go against you, right? For me, I haven't been trading since February, except to close some positions, which I think would go down if the market goes down, right? So I haven't been trading with returns in mind given these past few months.
Okay, you mentioned something, and it's also part of the study, that actually women have longer holding periods than men. So is
Sure.
this accurate also on your end?
Well, it's accurate on my end because I have one position now. Actually, it's Mac.
Promoting.
Am I allowed to say that? But
Like how long is
I've had it since July of 2017.
not that long?
Yeah. So it's the only position I have right now. I cut all the others.
I mean, how do you know when you're going to be holding that long? Or basically just describe what your system is.
I think what works for me, for example, I've been trading for like 3+ years, and I realized that there's a difference. For example, you can actively trade, and then especially as a student, it's not very easy, especially you have an academic load. But then you realize at the end of the day, you put in so much effort in daily trading and a little effort in position trading, but you practically gain the same amount. So for the past few years, I've been more onto holding more long term.
As for me, I do think that my system depends on my lifestyle and the market environment. So for lifestyle, I don't have time to watch the market every minute. So I'm working now, and this is why I tend to avoid the highly volatile stocks like your Vita, your Now, your PXP. And given the sad market environment, which would probably reduce the probability of success, that's also considered in my system. So instead, what I do is focus on these stocks that have high growth and have declined the least compared to the index and other stocks. So you have MAC only correcting from 30 to 28. Right.
So would you say that you guys
been
been
an
trading for
uptrend.
like the past few years? Do you guys think you found the system that's working for you yet? Or are you guys still in the process of still refining it and still finding yourself?
I think the learning is constant. You feel like you know you know the rules already, you know the guidelines already. But as they always say, when the market opens, everything changes. It's like you forget everything.
I agree.
So we're always a student of the market. It's a constant learning process.
Sure. As for me, I do think I have my systems in place to the point that I have enough confidence to do it on my own, to stop listening to noise or asking people for advice. But I can't claim that I've actually mastered the market, that my system is enough for me to post extraordinary returns, right?
But that's a thing, right? You talked about listening to other people, and I think especially when you're young, you're always prone to that that hype or that stock that people are always promoting. So in your short life experience, what's the worst trade you guys ever been through?
Okay.
Our first few trades,
Okay.
we were both hyped in F&I a few
I
years
wasn't
ago.
part of that. I wasn't part of that.
I
Only
was
Jesse.
there. It was like, I was a super new trader, like 1 month. And everybody was like, oh, F&I is so good. This is going to follow on offer and all those kinds of stuff. I was just lucky that na hindi ako nag-all in kasi I was pretty new, and then I had the small account kasi I was just starting out. But it was a good lesson. If you make a mistake in like a level 1, it's easier to reset than if you make mistake at a level 10.
Yeah.
It was good for me. I think it was a good tuition fee, worth it.
Correct. So you want to make the mistake as early as possible. Kaysa
Yes,
pag matanda ka na,
definitely.
marami kang pera, you don't want to make these mistakes, right?
Yeah, in addition to that, I think my mistake was what pushed me to actually learn better. Because I was in second year when I had a paper loss of 80,000 in the stock called Kalata.
Oh, that's a lot for a student.
For a student, that's a lot. That was actually my savings for my entire grade school and high school days. So I was so devastated, and I think I just turned that pain into something that I wanted to address. They're needed, actually. They're needed for a person to mature in the market. It shows that the market is not something that's a paradise for people, because that's the most common misconception.
But your peers, did they also go through that similar experiences?
Definitely. I think everybody goes through the same thing.
Okay.
The only thing that matters is a lot of people stop after going through that. They will feel like, oh, this is not worth my effort. I will just do this and do that. I'll give up on the stock market.
Yeah. We're human, so the stock market is anti-human. So you
It's
can't. So yeah,
anti-human.
that's why you have to put your systems in place.
That's true.
So given all that's been said, do you think that today is a good time for women to start learning?
I think it's a good time for everyone to enter, not just women, especially, no barriers. And I think in this age, there's no more line between a man's job and a woman's job, unless you need to lift a 50-kilogram thing there. So I think we need to just remove the misconception that it's really a man's job, because there's no such thing.
So it's like an occupation that everybody can take.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
There you guys have it. It doesn't matter who you are, male, female, student, working. This industry is for everybody. Like what you heard from Michelle and Sheena, you need to find a community, find a good place where you can learn, look for the opportunities then, and keep at it. You'll have a good career. Okay?
Right.
All right. Thanks guys so much for coming.
Thank you.